Hi, Mormon Women's Studies class. I'm Jenny Reeder, and I really wish I could be there today with you. It's an honor for me to be able to talk to you a little bit about what I do and why I do it, and hopefully share with you a part of my passion of Mormon women's history. So I was first introduced to Mormon women's history. I went to Arizona State University for a master's degree in human communication, simply because I graduated from BYU with a degree in English teaching. And after doing my student teaching, I knew I didn't really want to teach high school. And excuse me, in between my 2 years at ASU, I discovered my passion and love for Mormon women's history. I had read randomly an article by Carol Cornwell Madsen, and I emailed her and asked her for a summer research assistant position. And she said yes. And I'd never even honestly had a history class. I studied English and humanities and Italian. So she took a chance on me, and I spent the summer doing research on Emmeline Wells. And I realized that this is what I love to do. So after I finished my master's degree, um, again, like I said, it was in human communication, and I knew it wasn't my thing, but I'm not a quitter. So I finished up, and then I was looking for a job. So I emailed Carol and asked her if she needed another research assistant. And she said, well, I could use you till you find a regular full-time job. So I worked as a research assistant for the Joseph Fielding Smith Institute for LDS History, starting in 2001, and ended up working with both Jill Mulvader and Carol Cornwell Madsen, and assisted them on different projects. Carol with her biography of Emmeline Wells, Jill, excuse me, with her study of Eliza R. Snow's poetry, and then together they were doing this book of Mormon of Relief Society documents, the Nauvoo Relief Society Minute Book. And that turned into a 3-year position, and I loved it, and I knew it was my passion. And they, both Jill and Carol, were such incredible mentors, but they actually pushed me out the door because they said, you can't do anything without a PhD. And they told me I had to get a PhD. So I applied to doctoral programs in history. I didn't get in because I didn't have a master's in history. So then the next year, I applied to master's programs in history. I was accepted and completed a master's degree in history and archival management and documentary editing at New York University. And that opened a lot of different doors. I figured maybe I can get a job at an archive if I need. After that, I ended up applying and going to George Mason University, just outside of Washington, D.C., for my doctorate. And I had a fantastic experience there. My degree was in American history. My minor fields were women's religious history and memory and material culture. But I was also privileged to work and get a TA-ship with the Center for History and New Media, which is a digital history, innovative, exciting new field of history. And then, so my dissertation is, it's called To Do Something Extraordinary, Mormon Women in the Creation of a Usable Past. And I looked at how Mormon women remembered and commemorated the Nauvoo Relief Society from 1842 to 1892. Each chapter is about a different piece of commemorative material culture. So the first chapter is about hair wreaths. And I know that sounds gross and weird. Go look it up. I mean, go Google hair wreaths so you can have a better idea of what it is. My advisor thought it was disgusting, but I told her to get over her 19th century or her 20th century presentism and accept this thing. So each chapter looked at an item of material culture as well as sort of a core value from the Nauvoo Relief Society and how it was used. So the first chapter is on hair wreaths and religious authority. The second chapter was on a quilt from the Salt Lake City 20th Ward, and it's on benevolence and charity work. The third chapter is on Relief Society halls and architecture, and it's on economics and economic activity. The fourth chapter is about this poster made by Augusta Joyce Crocheren called Representative Women of Deseret. Google that one because it's awesome. and it's about Relief Society women's political efforts. And then the last chapter was about Songs and Flowers of the Wasatch, which was a hand-painted watercolor poetry book that Relief Society, well, no, all Utah women made and contributed for the World's Fair in Chicago in 1893. So and it talks about how they're presenting themselves as educated and cultured and talent, artistic. So each chapter is about a different principle. It shows how they use different parts of their past at different times. They select what parts of their past are important to them. And I'm really excited. I have a contract to publish it with the University of Oklahoma. So I'm not sure when that will happen, but it's going to happen. So that's my journey, my educational journey. When I graduated, I applied for 3 positions. I was in the process of applying for 3 positions. One at the History Department of the University of Utah, one in the Religion Department at BYU, and then one with the Church History Department. And I chose the Church History Department in Salt Lake City. So I was hired to work on the women's history team. I am currently the 19th century women's history specialist, and I'm currently assigned to the web team. So it's like a dream job for me. I've been able to do some amazing research and work on some amazing projects. So I want to tell you a little bit about some of those projects. I'm going to go grab my books because I forgot to bring